The Georgia Bulldogs, well, I hate to say it, they've repeated. Yeah, they repeated. And they are focused on a three-peat in 2023. So I got over that bout of depression there for a moment, and I'm going to preview the 2023 Georgia Bulldogs, give you my predictions, and get into all of that. Before I do, hey, I'm Brian Knight. I am not Bobby Durkins. If you're brand new here, even if you hate my guts and hate my team, subscribe. It's free. Hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down, and hit the notification bell. So we know what happened. The past 2 years, Georgia came in, dominated. And I'm going to have to give my Clemson jab. Okay, I'm going to have to jab at you. You know, I'm going to do it. But you have 2 national championships, so you can take it. All these years, you've been recruiting very well. And you've wasted talent. But Kirby Smart was not happy. And this is one thing that I actually like about Kirby. Kirby wants to win championships. He's not happy about going 10-2, and then meandering at a microphone in front of the media telling everyone, oh, you know how tough it is to win in the SEC? No, he doesn't do that. Okay? So I like that about him. You finally used your talent. Now, I remember a very well-known Georgia fan saying that they would rather have a wastebasket as the quarterback than Stetson Bennett. Well, that wastebasket got Georgia 2 national championships, and now he's gone. Todd Monken, he's gone. I heard someone recently, as I was preparing for this video, say that they believe that they could have coached Georgia's offense and still won a championship. And folks, I'm going to tell you that's where people's wrong. This team right here, they're having to find out the hard way, or they did find out. That's the reason they hired Garrett Riley. You just can't hire anybody and coach, no matter how good you are. You have to have good people coaching, and Todd Monken did an incredible job. But let's talk about the 2023 season. Let's highlight a few things out of the 2022 season. Your closest games in the regular season was with Kentucky and Missouri. Missouri almost beat you. Okay, who wants to get fired up to play Missouri? Nobody. Now you have one of their players, Dominic Lovett, one of the top wide receivers to come out of the transfer portal. You use the transfer portal. You got him. You got that. You got that other wide receiver, Ra Thomas. The guy can play. But before I dive into your wide receivers, let's talk about your quarterback. So Carson Beck, the guy is a redshirt junior, 6'4", 215. Behind him is that Vandegrift fella. And then a redshirt freshman out of the Clayton, Georgia area, Gunnar Stockton. And Georgia, at this point, to my knowledge, has not named Carson Beck the man, but we know he's the man. Barring that he gets injured, he's the man. At running back, Georgia is infamous for running backs. All the way back to Herschel Walker, Terrell Davis, Garrison Hurst. Then you move on up to Noshawn Moreno, Chubb, Todd Gurley. I mean, we could just keep going. It's embarrassing. The problem is, can Kendall Milton stay healthy? I was looking at an injury report for y'all right before I came on here. Branson Robinson. The guy's just another one of those great recruits you got. He's cleared to play, but it's limited. It's limited. You have to wonder about that. And I'm going to skip the wide receivers. I'm going to go to the offensive line, because the offensive line and the running backs goes hand in hand. Okay. You have 2 6'7" linemen playing for you. Xavier Truss, 320-pound senior. Then a 330-pound junior, 6'7", Amarius Mims. Now, folks, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if for some reason they fell off the face of the earth last night and you're like, I can't believe he missed that, I'm sorry. I try to pay attention. Georgia's a big football team, but I'm not going to know every player if they go out and do something stupid and get arrested. I don't know. But so far, this is your lineup. Then, of course, you got Ernest Green, 6'4", 330-pound, I believe, redshirt freshman. He has some health problems. Now he's here. He's ready to go. Cedric Van Pran. What a name. Or Van Prine, probably Prine. Tate Ratledge. Folks, you could put just a solid running back behind this line and run very well. So if Milton will stay healthy and Robinson stay healthy, and then they have that Cash Jones guy who was a walk-on. I believe he was a walk-on. I mean, you have guys that can play. You have guys that can play it. If my memory serves me correct, Andrew Paul, Roderick Robinson, Dejon Edwards. If I missed anyone, I'm sure someone will let me know and then tell me what a horrible genocidal maniac I am for missing a running back on Georgia's team. With those uncertainties in the health department for the running backs, this helps. Having those massive players, that helps. Now, getting back to the wide receiver, picking up Ra Thomas, picking up Dominique Lovett. A lot of people would have looked at your wide receiver unit and then looked that you have the top tight end in the country, Brock Bowers. I mean, just what a machine, man. What a flipping machine. 63 receptions, 942 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's averaged almost 15 yards per reception. That's just a machine. You can say, oh, well, we have Ladd McConkey. The guy, I mean, he tore it up in the national championship. We don't need to go to the transfer portal. We're Georgia strong. It goes back to that initial statement I said, I made about Kirby. What did I say about Kirby? Kirby only cares about winning. He says, no, we're not just going to say, hey, we have Marcus Jack Saint, Rosemy Jack Saint. Y'all forgive me. Clemson has some very weird names. I can't say anything about anybody. 4 or 5 players, if you try to pronounce their name in a row, you'll throw up. It's proven. So you get Dominique Lovett in here, Ra Thomas. You know, then you got guys like Arian Smith. You get these types of players in here, and folks, you start rotating them out. It gives them a chance to do something great. Let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Georgia's defensive unit last year, by regular football, college football 101, if you lose the talent that they lost the year before, they were supposed to not be as good. And my goodness, the recruiting, it paid off. I'm telling you, folks, for all you people, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to try to move a little quicker here. For all you folks here that says, oh, 5 stars doesn't matter. 5 stars doesn't matter. I mean, look at Stetson Bennett. Guys like Stetson Bennett and guys like Hunter Renfro. I'm speaking some Clemsonese here for you. Guys like them, the reason that we marvel at what they do is because they were walk-ons. When you look at a Todd Gurley and he comes out and runs over you, when you look at a Zamir White and he runs over you, you go, yeah, he was a 5-star. He was supposed to do that. 5 stars matter, folks. You may not like it. You might want to point out to Chris Peterson's Boise State team and what he did there. And that is great and stuff. But I am telling you, to be a consistent championship team, you have to recruit at a high level. And we saw the results of that this past season. Now they lost players. They lost players. Went off to the, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, they're off at the NFL now. But here's the deal. When you have the ability to recruit at this level and stay consistent, you can look at the holes they do have to fill and go, oh, we're fine. Mikael Williams, he's back. Stackhouse is back. Dumas Johnson is back. Mondon's back. Lassiter is back. Bullard is back. Starks is back. I mean, Ringo may be gone, right? He may be gone, but you have guys like Everett, Green, Humphrey, A.J. Harris. These guys can step up and play. Now, I'm going to get to a point of contention. And some Georgia fans are going to be irritated with this, but I'm a Clemson fan and I have to hear it a lot. I have to hear it about our schedule. Your schedule this year is outrageously easy. When you go pound for pound of talent versus your schedule, it is laughable. So I'm going to quickly go through your schedule, and I'm going to share this via FBS schedules.com. I shared the link in the description below. You can click on that and keep it. If you're not a Georgia fan, you can click on that, save it, and choose your favorite team. If you're a Clemson fan, Georgia fan, pull for Doo-Doo State, they're going to be on there. But I'm going to share this schedule, and when I show this to you folks, this is not a shot at you. Maybe it is. I just read my comment section, and it's funny. I'm sorry. But I'm going to show this schedule, and we're going to dive into this. Now, if you're looking at the Georgia schedule right here, I don't care if you were born in Athens, Georgia, in the middle of the football stadium, and Vince Dooley christened you with Herschel Walker Sweat. You know that this schedule versus your talent is hilarious. Now, this is the point where I'm going to tell you this is how I grade games. I'm going to tell you if I truly believe you're going to win or lose the game. But I'm going to give you a game of, if there's a game of concern or a toss-up. That's how I grade them. All right? So, if it is an easy game, I'm just going to say you're going to win the game. So, fortunately for me, UT Martin and Ball State, your very first two games, you're going to win that game. If either one of those two teams scores over 10 points on you, over 10 points, it would have to be because your team ended up hiring someone else to play for them. You should beat both of those teams handily. Next up, you play the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, you can only imagine what I think about them, but I have to say this. Shane Beamer reminds me of a young Steve Spurrier before Steve Spurrier had proven something, right? He's doing all the things right with social media. He's starting to get good recruits to go to the armpit of South Carolina and play for the Gamecocks. I mean, he's doing a lot of the right things. I believe this guy, especially if he would just do decent this year, he's going to get a bigger, better offer. And South Carolina better be ready to pay up or lose him. It's a 3:30 game. It's on CBS, but it's in Athens. Y'all win this game. I would say, no, y'all win this game. You came off of 2 easy games. The week after that is an easy game. You're not going to have your eyes looking forward to the next week. You're not going to be licking your wounds from like some type of battle the week before. No. This game is nestled between Ball State and UAB. You're going to win this game. Next game you play UAB. You're going to beat them. Isn't Trent Dilfer coaching down there or something like that? Think about this. All the quarterbacks in NFL history who were talented, who never won a Super Bowl, and Trent Dilfer won it. Not knocking him, I'm saying. I mean, he did it. Then you go to Auburn. Auburn made the best off-season head coaching hire of this past coaching hiring cycle. Auburn went out there and got Brian Harsin and then realized they made a mistake. That was not Brian Harsin's fault, by the way. I've seen a lot of Auburn fans try to talk away why they hired him. The hire did not make sense in the first place. No offense to Coach Harsin. He was going to take the money, and you would too. And then they turned around and tried to pin allegations. I'll stay off of that. But Hugh Freeze can coach. He's not going to beat you this year, but you know Hugh Freeze can coach. We all know Hugh Freeze can coach. This is Auburn, though. They're going to play you hard, but they don't have the talent right now. If they were to stay in this game, it will be because Hugh Freeze is Hugh Freeze and his preparation. But y'all win this ball game. Kentucky comes to town. Now, last year you had a problem with Kentucky. And don't any one of you tell me about Will Levis or this, that, and the other. Will Levis is not a great quarterback. He's not terrible. But whatever went on with Will Levis to make everybody think that he was like the man, the bomb, I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all are going to win this game. Y'all are going to win this game. I'm looking at Kentucky's team, trying to find Kentucky's team. Oh, where's Kentucky? Oh, Kentucky. You're going to beat them. Trying to find their team in the rankings of the SEC. I'm using a media guidebook. I have to keep flipping to get to Kentucky. Y'all will beat Kentucky. You got Vanderbilt. Hey, with all these super conferences going on right now, yeah, the building of these guys have to go. They're fantastic. They're fantastic if this was a spelling bee conversation. A spelling bee contest, competition, whatever you want to call it. It's not. It's football. Y'all are going to beat the absolute color out of their jersey. Then you're off. Then you're going to go to the world's biggest, largest cocktail party in Jacksonville, Florida. And you're going to play Florida. I don't know why Florida made the head coaching hire that they hired. A lot of people doesn't know this. Billy Napier was offensive coordinator for Clemson for a few years, and Sweeney fired him. I'm not saying that he is not a good coach at a different school or maybe at a different level, but I am telling you that Billy Napier is not the right man for Florida. I know y'all could care less, and this is going to play right into your hands. Y'all are going to beat them back. You're going to beat them. Y'all let them hang around last year and then score 2 quick touchdowns to make it look more dominant. It was because you didn't care. Because Florida is a shell of history. They have the same jerseys. They play the same fight songs. Y'all always play in Jacksonville, but if you had to go to the swamp, you'd see all the retired players that were great in Florida history. But at the end of the day, no matter if they have a 5-star lined up in front of you, something has happened. They are not making good decisions down there, and y'all are going to beat them. It'll be a good 3:30 game on CBS, but you're going to beat them. Next up, you're going to play Missouri Tigers. It's going to be in Athens. Y'all are going to remember they almost beat you. You're going to return the favor. You're going to beat them. Next up, you play Ole Miss. Now, here's the thing about Lane. Lane's an interesting character, but I will tell you this. I think that Lane, this might be his last season coaching in Ole Miss. And you say, Brian, why would you make that prediction? Do you think he's going to get fired? No, I don't think he's going to get fired. Ole Miss has done pretty well with guys like Freeze and him. But I'm old enough to remember Ole Miss and them just being, and not too long ago, being just not that good. Just nothing to write home about. You're not sitting there going, oh, man, this team is going to be a front runner for the – no. But I will tell you that they are going to come in. They're going to play you decent. You would want to watch them. You will want to respect them. This is a game maybe of concern, but not in a toss-up way. It's like you do have to come in and play them well. You're not going to go out there and give the same effort against Ole Miss that you're going to give against, I think, even Florida. I know that's a rivalry game, folks. I know it's a rivalry game. You say you don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. I've been told that before and ended up right several times after that. You can't give the same effort that you gave against Missouri against Ole Miss. But this game is in Athens. You're going to win this game. And then here is a game, and Tennessee fans are going to, I'm not going to say lose it, but maybe they are going to lose it. Okay? But I'm going to throw this out here, folks. And I'm going to do a Tennessee, and I'm going to shut up and say what I want to say. Tennessee will receive a preview by me. And they beat the brakes off of my Tigers with our pedestrian offense. Our pedestrian offensive coordinator, play call, who's now an analyst with your team. But Joe Milton has one good game in his college career, and it was against us. Against a good opponent, excuse me. It was against us. If you hear a bunch of noise, it's storming right now outside of my house. Tennessee, you have Georgia at home, but Georgia, I'm going to tell you this. If Joe Milton plays anything like he's played at Michigan and Tennessee, where he lost the starting job, where he lost the job to Hendon Hooker even after getting the nod from Josh Heupel, Tennessee fans, I'm going to tell you this. Georgia will beat you by 3 touchdowns. And folks, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm not even going to make this a toss-up game. Now, if Joe Milton comes out and he starts playing lights out and everything, and he's amazing and he's killing it, and he is just playing like a machine. Okay. But I could care less that the guy can lay on his back, flip over, stick football in his butt, and fart at 75 yards. That is not leadership on a football team, folks. And he has shown me, except for one game, unfortunately, he's inconsistent. Georgia, I just have this as a game of concern for you, but I don't even think it's a toss-up. And then you play at Georgia Tech, and I don't even have to go through that ball game. You're going to win that game. So you say, Brian, are you saying you believe? I'm going to give you worst case scenario. Worst case scenario for you is 11-1. And for you to lose that ball game, it would either be because Joe Milton actually came out and was a machine, or somewhere in this schedule, an unexplainable upset happens because you looked at that team and went, yeah, we're way better than them. Even our water boy could outplay them. And you just come in and take somebody for granted. Now, what would be the other reason that you would lose one ball game? It would be if, and I've heard this about Mike Bobo, and there's a few of you who comes on my channel and you tell me, I'm tired of you spouting all this stuff about Todd Monken, how Mike Bobo was not that good. Bobo had more points per game than this, that, and the other. I've read that in the publications as well. Folks, I'm going to tell you, you need to stop taking a backhanded slap or punch or whatever. I don't know why I even said it that way. You need to stop jabbing at Todd Monken. He got you 2 national championships. Show some respect. Clemson lost Jeff Scott, and everybody was talking about Tony. Well, Tony's calling the plays. Jeff's not doing it. Jeff left, and guess what happened? I don't care what he did at South Florida. I'm talking about when he was a co-offensive coordinator at Clemson. Guess how many championships Clemson won after he left? None. So I'm just telling you, you need to respect Todd Monken. Mike Bobo might come in, implement the same system. Folks, you need to understand, once you get to the college football playoff, you, of all people, should understand that when you get into the college football playoff, you're playing against other teams who has the same talent that you have, and they have really good coaches, most of them. And they'll go toe-to-toe with you scheming. They're not impressed to play you. They're not afraid of you. So that's the concern with Mike Bobo. With your quarterback situation, you've had incredible play from Stetson Bennett the past 2 years. The question is, will Carson Beck actually pan out? Now, what plays in his favor? He spent a lot of time with Stetson Bennett. He spent a lot of time with Mike Bobo. He's been at the University of Georgia for 4 years now, if my memory serves me correct. That means something, folks. That means a lot. So I'm not taking away from that. But what happens if Carson Beck comes out and starts playing like trash? Is Vandegrift going to get the call? Will he be ready? Those would be the only things that would make me say that I would be wrong at about 11-1. But even then, versus the schedule, 11-1 I think is your worst. 12-0 is very attainable with the schedule. Most likely, you would even with one loss, you would still go to the SEC championship. Unless Tennessee went undefeated. And I've looked at their schedule, and I just don't see it. I'm not knocking Tennessee. I actually like Tennessee. I like the Knoxville area. Heck, I'd move up there if I could. But, folks, I'm telling you, there's no reason why you would not go to the SEC championship again. You'll probably play Alabama. As long as their quarterback situation gets messed up, it's Georgia or gets straightened out and not messed up, it's going to be y'all again. Duking it out for the SEC championship. And according to how close that game is, you end up in the college football playoff. Both of you again. And yes, I know Alabama didn't make it last year, but the year before you did. Both of you did. Excuse me. So where do I see Georgia? 11-1, worst. 12-0, going back to the college football playoff. Obviously, you and Michigan at this time are the two front runners for the national championship. Both of you are going to have to do something, especially Georgia, is going to have to do something stupid not to get back to the college football playoff. I'm talking about it's going to have to come out that Kirby Smart was planning to carry out some type of heinous attack, and they arrest him, and then all the team leaves. That's how bad. And even with what's left over, we'll probably still win 10 games. That's how good you are. So I'm looking at Georgia, worst case scenario, 11-1, undefeated, and then going to the SEC championship. I'm not going to call that game. I have to see what the Alabama team looks like, because I'm highly convinced it's going to be Alabama and not LSU. I'm sorry. But it's going to happen, and you're most likely going back to the college football playoff. Folks, that is my summary of the game, or not the game, of this season. And yeah, Georgia, you're going to have to really mess this up not to get back to the national champion, or to the at least college football playoff. Folks, I have other previews coming. Clemson's already up. I previewed Alabama. I previewed now Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State. They're all coming. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. You take care of yourself. And as always, go Tigers.